Hi, Marianne Corinne here, back with Wide World of Games Salute to Game Show announcers. For over 50 years, Bern Bennett has been the voice of the CBS television network. He started work with CBS in 1944 as a radio announcer, and when the network launched TV operations in 1948, Bern's big voice was soon heard on small screens all over America. He did Toast of the Town with Ed Sullivan, as well as Beat the Clock, What's My Line, and To Tell the Truth. And you can still hear his mellow tones on The Young and the Restless. Bern's appearances on camera were so rare that in 1991, as a subject on To Tell the Truth, the panel had no idea just what he looked like.
I'm Burton Richardson, the announcer on To Tell the Truth. When To Tell the Truth first appeared on television 34 years ago, the announcer on the show was one of these three men. Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Bern Bennett.
Number two.
My name is Bern Bennett.
Number three.
My name is Bern Bennett.
Only one of these people is the real Bern Bennett, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Co-star of Murder, She Wrote, Ron Mazak. Anchorwoman of WWOR-TV in New York, Jennifer Pallotti. Film and television producer David Niven Jr. And To Tell the Truth's very own Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Lynn Swan.
Thank you all so very much. Good morning once again, panel.
Dapper, Lynn.
Thank you, thank you. So let's get right to the story presented by our first team of challengers, all three of whom claim to be Bern Bennett. All right, this is a story. Please read along with me. I, Bern Bennett, was the announcer on To Tell the Truth when it made its debut in 1956. Much like Burton Richardson does today, I introduced the first challengers and the To Tell the Truth Master of Ceremonies, Bud Collier. Here's the tape of that first show.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mitchell Parrish.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mitchell Parrish.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mitchell Parrish.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one of them is the real Mitchell Parrish, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth.
That first night in the studio, we didn't know that this was the start of something big. I went on to work on the Ed Sullivan Show and the Sergeant Bilko Show with Phil Silvers. Today, I'm the announcer on Knots Landing, The Young and the Restless, and Murder, She Wrote. Even though Ron Mazak stars in the show, I have never met him. I have fond memories of To Tell the Truth because I was the first person ever to say the famous words, "What is your name, please?" Signed, Bern Bennett. We'll find out more about our To Tell the Truth veteran right after this.
There's no white like Plus White. With its dual-action anti-stain polishers, Plus White whitens like no ordinary toothpaste can.
There's no white like Plus White.
No wrinkle cream or moisturizer can do this, no matter what they cost. Only Sudden Change Under Eye can remove the appearance of wrinkles and puffiness in minutes. Sudden Change Under Eye.
Curls won't hold? Hair too fine and limp? Get Hold That Curl. The first spray just to hold curls to last and stay soft and full. Hold those curls with Hold That Curl.
Peter Tomarken is soft, kind, and gentle. Truth is, he's a hard guy, tough as nails, macho man. That's a little scary, isn't it, folks? I didn't grow up. No, and I have no intention of growing up, and don't you try to make me. For me to do Jeopardy would be kind of zany and silly.
Peter Tomarken, weeknights on Prime Games.
All right, folks, here we go. All three of these people claim to be Bern Bennett, the first announcer on To Tell the Truth. Kitty, please, give us the honors.
Number one, was I on that first show?
No, you were not.
Number 2, how long did you do the show?
Well, actually 3.5 years.
3.5 years. Was I on the show?
Oh, yes.
Ah, but we never met.
Yes, we met on the show.
I see. Number 3, how long did you do the show?
3.5 years.
And did you know me too?
I met you during the show, yes.
Uh-huh. And number 1, who was on the first show?
God, let's see.
Well, it's hard to remember.
It's hard to,
yeah.
It's flat.
But
David.
Well, now that number 1 hasn't remembered who was on the show, who was the nicest one on the panel?
Well, of course, Kitty Carlisle.
But naturally, that goes without saying, but after Kitty.
I think Orson was.
Orson was. Okay, number 3. As a matter of interest, is this the first time that you've been in front of the camera?
Yes.
And what sort of a feeling is that?
A very strange one.
All right. Number 1, what actually did you do on the Sergeant Bilko show?
I was the booth announcer.
Ah, and did you meet Phil? Ah.
Time's up. Jennifer.
Number 2, when they first asked you to do this show, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think it was a good idea?
I thought it would be fun.
Number 3, did you have any feeling at all that it was going to be a big hit?
No, none whatsoever.
Number 1, you said you had a lot of fond memories. What was your fondest memory?
I think meeting Mark Goodson was probably the nicest thing that happened to us.
Number 2, how has...
Thank you. Ron.
Number 1, who was Mr. Goodson's partner at that time?
Goodson Todman, Bill Todman.
Number 2, what was the original name of the Ed Sullivan Show?
You know, I don't remember. I remember the show, but I don't remember the name.
Number 3, what was the original name of the Phil Silvers Show? You'll Never Get Rich. Number 1, did you do this do you do Murder, She Wrote's announcing from New York or California?
California.
And number 2, what studio do you do that at?
Murder, She Wrote is over at Universal, but I don't do it at the studio. I announce it separately.
Number 3, how's Burton doing? He's doing just fine. Thank you.
All right, Ron. Now, of course, it's time for you to vote for either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if our panel is completely fooled, the team will receive $3,000. So, Kitty, you think you know which one was the announcer?
Well, I think so. Number 1, I couldn't remember who was on the first show, and it's quite true, none of them were memorable because I wasn't on the first show. But number 2 said that Orson was the nicest, and Orson didn't come on the show until long after the first 3 years. So I had to vote for number 3.
Number 3. David.
Well, now you... This is really boring. If that's true, I'm in Ted trouble. I thought it was number 2 because number 2 said that you were the best.
Of course.
Right? See,
No,
so I thought that was perfect. The nicest. Well, the kindest. And then he did that thing about Orson. I didn't realize he was wrong about Orson, so I'm wrong, I guess.
So he may have gotten you. Jennifer?
Well, this was another difficult one for me. I went for number 3. I can't tell you why. I just think he looks like an announcer and sounds like one, too.
Gut feeling. We go for that big on this show.
As always, they're all briefed very well, Lynn. I went with number 3 because he did know that Phil Silver's show was called You'll Never Get Rich, and he thought Burton was doing okay.
Let's recap the votes. Number 1, I'm sorry you didn't get a vote. Number 2, you have a single vote. And number 3, everyone believes, or most everyone believes it's you except for David, who wishes he had voted for you. Now it's time to find out who the real voice from the past is. Will the real Bern Bennett please stand up? It's number 3. Bern, the show went on to be a great success. Do you sometimes think, boy, I wish I hadn't left the show?
Well, this is being with the show all over again. And it brings back so many fond memories, Kitty and all the rest of the gang. And, of course, I still see Mark once in a while, too. So it's been a very pleasurable experience for me.
Well, it's a terrific experience for us to have you back on the show in this capacity.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's find out about your imposters. Number 1, your name and what do you do?
My name is David Scher, and I'm a tour bus driver.
Wonderful. You'll have to put the Tell the Truth on your tour. Number 2.
My name is Lou Forrest, and I run a deep-sea fishing charter.
Wonderful. Well, gentlemen, there was only one incorrect vote, so your team will receive the guarantee of $1,000. Bern, curious, how would you do it today?
I guess pretty much as I did it then.
Go ahead, do it for us.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
Wonderful. A voice from the past. Thank you very much for being here. We'll be back with a policeman who takes a look at the lighter side of the law right after this.
Do you have an idea for a new product or invention that you'd like to submit to companies? If so, there's information from Invention Submission Corporation to help get you started. ISC is America's largest invention service organization with over 50 offices nationwide. We help people like you submit their ideas to companies. Call this toll-free number now and we'll send you this free information. It includes an important document that assures confidentiality, a form for recording and dating your invention, and an informative brochure which tells you how to proceed with submitting your invention to companies through the ISC data bank as well as various other means. Even if you only have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll want to call now for ISC's free information.
For your free inventor's information, call Invention Submission Corporation now at 1-800-228-1080. That's 1-800-228-1080.
Presenting Solid Gold Soul. All your favorite soul music in one fantastic collection.
This will be everlasting love. This will be the one I've waited for.
Get Solid Gold Soul for just $9.99 on compact disc or double-length cassette. That's 21 fabulous hits, over an hour's worth of music. Then audition other great Solid Gold Soul albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime. Call now.
To order Solid Gold Soul, call 1-800-963-9191. That's 1-800-963-9191. Or send $9.99 plus $3.50 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
We're back on To Tell the Truth. Let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Don Parker.
Number 2.
My name is Don Parker.
Number 3.
My name is Don Parker.
And it's up to you, panel, to locate the real Don Parker. Here's the story. Please read along with me. I, Don Parker, am a police officer with a problem. What do you do if you're a nerd and every time you say you're under arrest, people laugh? Well, after a 17-year career of Keystone Cops mishaps, you write a funny book entitled Officer Needs Assistance. In my collection of real-life police stories, you'll meet the sex pot I saved from a 6-inch lizard, and the car thief whose flat tire I unknowingly changed. You'll learn why rattlesnakes are best killed with a pool cue, and how to arrest a murder suspect. But you'll also learn I reluctantly killed a man in the line of duty. Despite my lovable appearance, I'm very good as a cop. So, if I ever pull you over, you'd better not laugh. Unless, of course, you're reading one of my books. Signed, Don Parker. Ron, it sounds like we might have the Barney Fife of police officers. We'll start with you.
Well, I don't know about that nice demeanor. Number 1, tell me about this 6-inch lizard with the sex pot.
Well, the lady saw this little 6-inch lizard in her mobile home kitchen, and she thought it was an alligator, and she was just absolutely terrified. So she called for somebody to come and get rid of it.
Number 2, tell me about this flat tire you changed.
Well, it was a nice-looking young boy there with a flat tire in a rainstorm. I pulled in behind him, helped him change the tire. He offered to pay me, which I declined. And when we got finished, I gave him a business card because he said he was going to write the sheriff a nice thank you letter. And 30 minutes after he drove off, they put out a stolen bulletin on that car.
Number 3, where are you from?
I'm from Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. Number 1.
Thank you, Ron. Jennifer.
Number 1, I find it difficult to believe that somebody would be laughing after you've shown them a badge and said you were placing them under arrest. Why do you think you get this reaction?
Well, when I first started, I was about 22, but I looked 14, and nobody
believe that I was old enough. They thought I was just playing around in a uniform.
So they didn't think you were a real police officer?
No, they didn't.
I see. Number 2, were you ever reprimanded for changing that tire and letting the guy get away like that?
Well, no, I wasn't, because I didn't admit it for about 5 years.
I see. Number 3, was there a final straw that you just had enough and said, I have to write a book, I have to do something funny?
Well, nothing in particular, but there were so many instances, and other people were saying throughout the squad, hey, you know, you've had so many funny things. Why don't you write a book?
Number 1.
Thank you, Jennifer. David.
Okay, thank you. Number 1, who buys this book other than cops?
Oh, just anybody that's interested in it. Walk into a bookstore, there it is. And it's got a good cover on it. It's real attractive.
And how many copies have you sold, number 1?
Sold 8,500 copies of the first book.
Oh, that's very good. Okay, and number 2, as a matter of interest, what was it that you did? You reluctantly killed someone in the line of duty. Let's go on to the serious side.
Right. It was serious. It was an escaping prisoner that had gotten his guard's gun away from him, tried to shoot me, but I had to shoot and kill him first.
And had you ever had any other experiences of having to shoot anybody?
I've never had to shoot anybody before. That was the only time I was actually involved in shooting someone. Shot at him.
Thank you, David. Kitty.
And number 3, why do you have to kill a snake with a pool cue?
Well, it was on a piece of concrete slab, and if you shoot, you're going to get a ricochet. My partner had half a pool cue from a previous arrest, and we just sat there and beat the heck out of it.
Where was this?
Oh, that was just off a bar. And, I mean, the original pool cue was from a bar, and then we were called out on
in a bar. And number 1, why did you have to kill the man?
He had escaped from his guard and taken the guard's gun, and he tried to shoot me. And
how did you know he had a gun?
I could see it. It was in his hand.
That's a good way to know somebody's got a gun.
Either that or it's pointing right in your face, one or the other. Panel, it's time to vote now for either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Ron, do the honors of starting off.
Well, I eliminated number 3 because I don't know how many rattlesnakes they have in Salt Lake City. Number 2 is so right on, so prim and proper in uniform and spiffy fighting, that I figured that this crack staff was trying to fool us again. And I saw the seriousness in number 1's eyes when he realized that Kitty was talking about something else and he was talking about children, and it got very serious at the point about having to kill somebody. So I just went with number 1.
Jennifer.
Well, I have to agree. I thought number 1 was just too perfect. I mean, I thought you were just too perfect for this, and I think they're trying to fool us. Number 2, I think you're terrific, too, but judging by my track record, it's usually the person that I don't think, so I'm going for number 3.
Once again, David.
Guess what? I don't agree with either of you. I thought that number 2, right, looked a bit like Don Knotts, and therefore I could imagine why somebody thought that maybe you were kind of nerdy. And with all due respect, if you are the real one, please don't give me a ticket, but I think it's you.
All right. Kitty?
Well, number 1 certainly could have looked 14 when he was 20, because he looks very young now, and he has a sweet face. Number 2 answered all the questions brilliantly, and it may well be he, but I kind of voted for number 3. I thought he looked more like a cop than the other 2.
All right. Well, the votes are split. Let's recap. Number 1, you have a vote. Number 2 has a vote. And number 3, you have 2 votes. Now let's find out who the real Barney Fife type cop is. Will the real Don Parker please stand up? Number 2. Don, I happen to notice that in one chapter of your book entitled What the Well-Dressed Deputy Wears, what does the well-dressed deputy wear?
Oh, in undercover operations, I've worn high heels, I've worn dresses, and I've even worn wigs, too, which felt kind of funny, to be honest with you. Yeah.
But it must have been a good fit.
Yeah, it was. Fit pretty good, that's for sure.
Right. Let's find out who your imposters are. Number 1, your name, and what do you do?
My name is David Geilhausen, and I'm a computer consultant.
Terrific. A young-looking computer consultant. And number 3?
My name is Lee Sunshine, and I produce corporate videos.
Lee Sunshine. Officer Sunshine. Well, listen, there were 3 incorrect votes, and at $500 apiece, your team receives $1,500. Thank you very much for being here. You did a great job playing this game. We'll be back to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience right after this.
One loan, one payment each month, and nothing more.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
If you're like most homeowners, you're paying a mortgage, several credit cards, and an auto loan each month. That's why the Money Store introduced the combo loan. With a combo loan from the Money Store, you can refinance your mortgage and consolidate your bills. You'll have one loan, one payment, and write just one check each month.
Plus, the interest can be tax deductible.
One loan, one payment with a combo loan from the Money Store. Call 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Okay, Cindy, when old Charlie celebrated his 97th birthday, they gave him a cake in the shape of a...
Lady.
A lady. All right, Joanne?
Well, does part of a lady, a boob, count?
No.
A man would...
I gotta say to you, it counts, but not here.
Match Game, 7 p.m. Eastern on Game Show Network.
And the home of the brave. And now it's time to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience. Burton, who do you have for us today?
Well, Lynn, today we have Daryl Hufford, who was born in Santa Monica, but he comes from Simi Valley, and here he is.
Daryl, welcome.
Thank you, Lynn.
Here's your chance to play one-on-one. I want you to meet a woman who has 2 stories. Please welcome Teresa Shields. Teresa? Welcome to the show. Now, Daryl, Teresa is going to tell you 2 stories, only one of which is the truth. You spot that true story, you'll take home $500. Listen carefully. Teresa, what's your first story?
I have a world-famous daughter, and her name is Brooke Shields.
Now, that may or may not be the truth, so listen to Teresa's second story.
I competed in a liar's contest, and I'm the world's most famous liar.
All right, Daryl. Here's your chance. Panel, you get to ask one question about each story. Help Daryl win $500. We'll begin, Kitty, with the story about her being Brooke's mother.
Mrs. Shields, where were you over the New Year's holiday?
We spent the New Year's in Bahrain.
David?
Mrs. Shield, Brooke's father went to the same high school I did in New Hampshire. What was it called?
Buckley.
All right. Jennifer?
What was it about Brooke as a child that first made you realize that she was going to be a major superstar?
I didn't realize that. A cab driver saw her and told me that she was beautiful, and that's how it began.
Ron?
Mrs. Shield, what was Brooke's first movie?
Alice, Sweet Alice. It was a horror movie that had been changed from Communion to Alice, Sweet Alice.
All right, Daryl, that's the first story. Now, story number 2, the world champion liar. Kitty?
Well, there's so many liars. Goodness gracious, how did you get to be a world-famous champion liar?
There was a contest called the Pinocchio Lounge in Long Branch, New Jersey, and they have it every year.
David?
Who came in second?
Joe Francoloni.
Jennifer?
Were you always a liar?
Yes.
Ron?
Are you lying to us now?
No.
All right, Daryl, you heard the cross-examination. Is Teresa Brooke's mother, or is she the champion liar?
She's got to be a liar.
Well, we'll find out. Teresa, what's your true story?
My true story is right here.
Yes. Well, Daryl, I'm sorry. You didn't win the $500, but you do win a lovely prize. Thank you very much for playing. Teresa, you get $1,000 for stumping Daryl. Congratulations.
I divorced him. That's clear the slate.
So you didn't know what high school he went to? Teresa, I have to ask you this. You do a lot of traveling with Brooke, and most everywhere she goes when she's working, and you both were in Saudi Arabia.
Well, not exactly Saudi Arabia. We went to Bahrain, which is 12 miles from Saudi. And we had gone on a ship to Midway, which was in Saudi territory, on the water to say hello to the troops and
It's a lot more
wish
liberal there.
wish them all your thanks and all the things that they received from the public, which is just beautiful. The letters and
It was very morale boosting.
Yeah. It's got to be a great comfort for you, Brooke, to have your mom with you when you travel and you do all these events.
It's a great deal. It's a very, very big comfort because I know she's on my side. I trust her, and I know that I can trust her. It's more comforting to know how nervous she was, to let her know how this felt. She was so nervous back there. It's great.
That's great.
This is what I go through every time I have to do something.
Well, thank you both for being here. You were terrific, and congratulations. Wonderful having you on the show. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Look, putting is tough. You're either falling short or yelling, "Hit a house!" So, what's the secret? Distance control. There's only one putter designed to help you master distance control. It's a new Alien Touch mallet. Why? This cylinder broadens the sweet spot to the entire face. Off-center hits won't ruin your roll. You'll get superior distance control, touch, and feel. Want the secret to distance control? It's all in the touch. Look, putting is tough. We do this line-up drill back and forth, and we still miss putt after putt. What you need is a putter that locks you on line. What you need is a new Alien Touch mallet. Here's why. These 5 lines link your eyes and the putter to the cup. With the touch, you're locked on target for dead-on accuracy. Want the secret to making more putts? It's all in the touch.
Lower your score with the Alien Touch mallet. Call now for the free video that will show you how.
Once again, we thank you for staying with us this morning. We'll see you the next time on To Tell the Truth. So long.
This is Burton Richardson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson television production.